Welcome to Hatman Strikes Back Daily Boxing News. So Dalton Smith wins a wide unanimous decision over Mathieu Germaine. Let's talk about it. I quite like the way that Dalton Smith has had to face multiple different styles in recent years. Aggressive fighters, and in this case, an out-and-out runner, because it will prepare him better for the people he may face at world level. Now, Dalton Smith obviously wanted to stop Germain. He tried to stop him. He did score a knockdown early, but that's when Germain was still trying to win the fight. Once he felt Dalton Smith's power and realized he couldn't win, he went into out-and-out survival mode. At points, I'm not kidding, he was literally running around the ring, almost turning his back on Dalton Smith to literally go for a jog. When you're fighting a guy like that, who's a tough, wily old pro, who has pretty good footwork, a pretty good jab, he's quite quick, and he's totally concentrated on and dedicated to survival, it's difficult to get these guys out of there. It just is. It's difficult to look good against a guy like that, no matter how talented you are. When a man's being that negative and he has pretty good survival skills, yeah, you got a job on your hands. I thought Dalton Smith did pretty well. I didn't think it was a bad performance whatsoever under the circumstances. I thought the instructions from his dad were very good. Dalton Smith followed those instructions for the most part and had success when he did, scoring another knockdown later on in the fight. Had it been a 15-rounder, he probably would have got Germain out of there. And in fact, that brings me on to another point. I thought Dalton Smith's stamina was excellent. At no point did he look like he was tiring. Again, not like he had much coming back at him, but he still had to chase this guy around the ring. And he was still throwing his fair share of shots. But he literally looked like he could have done 15 rounds, no problem. I like the switch-ups, head and body, the counters that Dalton Smith was throwing, the way he had to adapt during the fight. It's all good practice. And as he said after the fight, despite his frustration, it's good to get the rounds in the bank. You know, he was seeing the silver lining in this cloud because his next stop is world title level. They're looking to match him against Alberto Puello, the WBC champion at 140. Puello himself, a Dominican fighter, is a tricky customer. He's not a prolific puncher, just 10 KOs in 24 wins. Southpaw as well, so it's a fight, if it happens, in which Dalton Smith is going to have to do a lot of thinking, in all likelihood, a lot of adapting. And I think this contest against Mathieu Germaine will stand him in good stead in that regard. So yeah, just a quick post-fight here because there were some people disappointed in Dalton Smith's performance. I have to imagine some of those were Adam Azim fans. There's back and forth between the two sets of fans, Smith and Azim. But I'm not interested in getting involved in that. I think that Azim has looked impressive lately, and I think that Dalton Smith has looked impressive, even in this fight against a terribly negative survivor in Mathieu Germaine. Anyway, I'll leave it there. And before I go, make sure you check out my most recent bit of exclusive boxing content on Patreon. It's a 3-hour film study on George Foreman. That's 3 hours of me analyzing video footage, not still images, actual video footage of the most significant fights in George Foreman's career and explaining and breaking down what made him so effective. It wasn't just brute force and physical strength and punching power. No. Foreman had a much better boxing brain and was much more crafty and clever, even when he was young, than people realize or give him credit for. And I break it all down in a 3-hour George Foreman extravaganza on my Patreon page. If you want to access that video and many other boxing film studies I've done, as well as countless podcasts and what have you, just head on over to my Patreon page, which is called The Brotherhood of Reason, and select the tier called The Boxing Brotherhood. There's no contract, there's no commitment. You can cancel at any time, just like Netflix, and it's very reasonably priced. If you just want to sign up for 1 month and then check out, that's absolutely fine. So yeah, don't miss out on my George Foreman film study. You can access that and my entire back catalog for a very cheap price. It's great value. All of the links are in the description below. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Make sure you guys like this video, share it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out. If you want to access this video along with hundreds of hours worth of other exclusive boxing content, as well as our members chat, just head on over to my Patreon page and select the tier called The Boxing Brotherhood. There's no contract, no commitment. You can cancel at any time, just like Netflix, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper. Just download the app from the Play Store or the App Store. All the links are in the description box below. And just a quick money-saving tip for Apple users. If you purchase your Patreon subscription on the desktop site or on Android, then you'll avoid the ridiculous 30% fee that Apple charges for purchases made on the iOS app. So if you're on iPhone or iPad, save yourself some money by buying your subscription on the actual Patreon website or on Android because it's a lot cheaper. Once you've made that initial purchase, you can then use the Patreon app on your iPhone or iPad thereafter to access and enjoy your content as normal.